Hi everyone, welcome to next patch rundown. This is of 9.14. Now we seem to be on going to be on a regular cycle of patch notes that are at the same time as the regular patch notes for League of Legends. There'll be a link to this in the description, but you can also access it via the League of Legends patch notes, and there's a little link in a box reasonably near the top of the patch notes. Yeah, I'm going to be switching over to here from tftactics.gg, but still a very good site. Definitely still use it for a lot of TFT needs, but I haven't really been playing that much recently, so just beware that my thoughts on this includes like no experience of the actual PBE patch nor any recent meta developments in the past sort of week. But yeah, we'll go into it, and I'll probably start playing a lot more for the rest of the day, and obviously tomorrow once the patch is out, I'll be playing quite a bit. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Twisted Fate's been added. His 2-cost Pirate Sorcerer, and his ability is his pick a card. I've gone through this all in a video that I'll also link in the description. But yeah, it's a pretty good addition. I think it'll be a very good. He'll definitely pump up the pirates quite a bit, and hopefully actually make them reasonably viable along with pirates, I suppose. There we go. Ranked Teamfight Tactics ranked beta season starts patch 9.14. Then check that out if you want to learn more. Yep, ranked coming. Hopefully I'll be spamming quite a bit of that. We'll see what happens though. So systems, attack speed changes. We've changed all of the champions' attack speed ratios so that the attack speed bonuses are now calculated based on a percent of the champion's base attack speed. In short, champions with lower base attack speeds will receive less benefit from attack speed items. Certain champions with attack speed granting items have been adjusted in this patch to compensate. Okay, that's interesting. So instead of just 1.0, it's now champion base attack speed. This is an interesting change. I guess this is mainly to prevent stuff from like Lulu, Rageblades, a couple of Spirit Shojins, just so that they're like pumping out ults left, right, and center. So it means that you're gonna have to focus more of your attack speed items onto the actual attack speed units. Whether this is enough of a change to remove stuff like Rageblade, Double Spear, Lulu is another thing. We'll just have to see. I expect it will. I expect people will actually start potentially not just stacking one unit with a good ult and just relying on them to continuously get the ult off to win. Like, hopefully there'll be a bit more skill about where, bit more options at least for where you're putting your attack speed items, especially the Rage Blades. Obviously, Spirit Surgeon's still not gonna be affected by this, but you know, the fact that it's still gonna the attack speed is usually placed in combination with the Spirit Shogun, so it should affect it at least a little bit. PvE rounds. In the event that you do not get an item during a PvE round, one of the minions, monsters, or epic monsters will now drop gold instead. That is interesting. I actually quite like that. Dragon and Elder Dragon no longer benefit from the dragon trait bonuses. All sorcery comps rejoice. Yes, this was a very annoying point. Sorcerer comps just wouldn't really do very well against dragons, so it's very nice to see this change. Though, yeah, it probably shouldn't have been a thing to begin with, but whatever. Apart from that, though, the God one's pretty nice. I believe they've made other changes to item drops as well. I saw a little bit on PB a while ago to do with Gromp. Now Gromp is the last mini. Either way, we'll look at it once we get further down, because I expect that will also be in here somewhere. Just a quick note that it turns out they actually don't have it in this patch notes, or at least I can't see it in the patch notes. They might end up still adding it anyway, or it just might not be in until the next patch. It's kind of a shame if it isn't, but yeah, we'll find out. Either way, definitely should think that should be in this patch, but let's just carry on with the rest of the video. Ranked pre-made restrictions. Ranked pre-made party size now limited to 3 players at all ranks, down from 5 below plat. I mean, it's nice, but really, I just think ranked should be solo only. It's kind of similar to ranked solo duo. I think that should also be solo only, but there we go. It's just what's gonna right decisions. Just gonna obviously determine this, but yeah, at least it's 3 rather than 5 below player. Limit breakpoints, level breakpoints rather. XP to level 9 is going to be, instead it used to be 70, now it's 64. Very nice, yeah. Once we got up to level 7, level 8, it seemed ridiculously long to actually level up at all, so it's a very nice change. Hopefully it's not too much that level 9 is really easy, but because it's only a difference point of 6, I very much doubt it will make it that drastic a change, but it still should feel pretty nice now. Make it a little bit easier to level 9. Ability targeting. Abilities that target low health champions now determine lowest health by HP percentage of total HP. Good. I don't know why that wasn't a thing to begin with, but whatever. Ability targeting did seem a bit bizarre sometimes, and I guess it was these low health champions abilities that would seem a bit weird. So hopefully this will help resolve some of the kind of wackiness of abilities going out. Shop. When you reroll your shop after leveling up from round XP, the shop is rolled at your new level instead of your old level. Yeah, so it was originally your old level, but after a poll on Twitter, I believe, most people thought it was the new level, so they kind of just decided to change it to the new level because that makes more sense. Yeah, it visually makes more sense, and it thematically makes more sense. It just, yeah, it is, again, it's another thing where it should have been a thing at the beginning of the game, but then this is what you do when during a beta period, so you're ironing out the main issues of the game and things that should be in the game from the very beginning. User interface, added streak indicator next to goal total. It displays your current streak, win or loss, and the rewards for maintaining streaks of different lengths, which is quite nice. Yeah, more information on the UI is always nice, as long as it's not overkill in adding information. But from what I've seen, it looks pretty nice and it looks very kind of reasonable, and yeah, very nice addition. Added a combat recap just so you can see how much damage each champion deals each round, which again is very nice. Added champion stats, attack damage, armor, magic resist, etc. on their pop-up inspect panel when you right-click. Fantastic. And there probably should be more if there isn't a few more, but there we go. As long as there's, as long as we keep getting some more stats, more things that so we don't have to tab out and look up at stuff. That's always best. Traits: Demon mana burn chance from 40, 60, 80 to 25, 50, 85. Okay, this is very interesting. So back when demons were 30, was it 30, 50, 70 percent, they were pretty weak, or at least they were expected to be pretty weak. Some of the comps would work reasonably well, but they were definitely underestimated, but they definitely weren't any incredible pick. There were many team comps that you should have gone over demons. But slowly over the last few weeks, people have realised they're actually reasonably strong, especially with the 40% in the like 40-60 of first two levels is pretty insane, at least for an early game. The 80% still pretty good, but less noticeably kind of broken. But this changed, so it's 25, 50, 85. I actually kind of like demons to me, especially the kind of how their ability works with the mana percentage chance to mana burn and then deal that amount of mana in as true damage always seemed to me like a thing that should be pushed back to that late game. That shouldn't be just like a straight 40% up in the when you just get the first tier of demons. So this change is actually really nice. I very much hope they stick to this kind of area of focus on demons, that keeping them in that late game, because yeah, this is just way better than the 40, 60, 80 all. Because I think originally they were just going to revert it back to 30, 50, 70. But yeah, this is a nice surprise and much better direction to go in to with demons. Elementalist, golem health down from 3,000 to 2,500, thank you. And golem attack damage from 200 to 100, yes. Elementalist was reasonably broken. The golem was just too strong. Yeah, this is just a fantastic change. Hopefully this won't affect it too much that it just becomes a non-pick, but the attack damage might be a lot more potent than the actual health, because the health itself I think is a pretty reasonable change. It's going to just make it a lot easier to kill, but at the same time still a nuisance, so it's worth still playing Elementalist. But at the same time, the attack damage, admittedly I didn't really notice the attack damage really doing much. when playing against it. So we'll see if this becomes an issue or not. But I don't think it will be. I think it just makes them a lot more kind of a regular comp to go for, and nothing too OP, but also now not. It's not like it's been nerfed into the ground or anything. Guardian armor buff stacks up to 2 times. Stacks. It used to stack up to 2 times. Now stacks to any number of times. Okay, that's cool. Guardian's always one of those things where it's like it's a side synergy because it is only that 2, and it's only there's only 2 in there. Like it just it's very much a side synergy. Just kind of decide maybe people prioritize this a lot more now with either knights or nobles or glacial comps. It would be nice to see this a lot more. See Guardian in there a lot more because I think kind of tanks and like tank synergies are a lot less valued in the game than they should be. So yeah, hopefully this means that they see a bit more, show how much they actually are very good. Gunslinger, improve visualization of Gunslinger AoE attacks, fix some bugs where Gunslinger extra attacks could fail to fire at high attack speeds. It's all very nice. Extra units hit used to be 1 stroke all, now it's 1 stroke 2, which is very nice. Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff on the PvE. I thought this might be in the bug fixes, but actually it's up here in the traits section. But yeah, there was a lot of shit going on in the PvE, and now hopefully this means that gunslingers are both as powerful as they were meant to be, but also not as broken as they were ended up being on the PvE. So yeah, hopefully I'd like to see this because I quite like Gunslinger. I like Gunslinger quite a lot, and I always think it should definitely be a powerful trait in the game, considering what it's meant to do and everything. So yeah, that'll be cool. Average gold per chest for pirates is down from 2 to 1.6. This is interesting. I haven't played a ton on the PvE, so I don't actually know how TFF has affected the metagame in the PvE, but I am expecting pirates to be pretty good once TF is released. So this is probably as a result of the PvE stuff, but we'll find out. It's a very bizarre kind of change, but we'll see what happens with that. I think we'll need a lot more experience on the new patch to actually see what happens. Shapeshifter, bug fix shapeshifters will now gain the correct amounts of health when they transform. Previously, they would fail to take into account the health they gain from their star level. Okay, that's interesting. And transform health gain used to be 100%, now it's 60%. This is interesting. The bug fix is obviously very nice. The fact that they weren't gaining the proper amount of health is obviously a problem. But they were very powerful, and so therefore reducing the transform game health from 100% to 60% was definitely a change in the right direction. Now this seems like quite a hit. I don't think this will take them out of the game entirely, but I have a feeling they're going to have to increase this 60% up to something like 65, 75. I think otherwise it's a bit too of a hard of a hit, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Wild has gone back up. The attack speed per stack has gone back up from 7 to 8 again. I don't know why Wild weren't taken out of the game. They were still pretty nice early. I have a feeling though that this, I don't know, maybe with the whole changes to attack speed items, as well as like the kind of nerfs of the nerfs of shapeshifter and what have you. Maybe this like reduces their potency when their traits are 8% per stack, but I don't know, I just think this is unnecessary. Wild was fine where they are, even with just being very potent earlier and then falling off. But there we go. We'll see what happens, but I feel like they're gonna probably end up reversing this again pretty soon. Now onto the actual units. Tier 1 or 1 costs. Darius no longer casts his ability at times when no enemies would be range at start of cast. Yeah, that's very nice. Shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. One of those changes, but yeah, very nice. Elise has actually been put down from a 2 cost to a 1 cost, which is very necessary. It opens up demons a little bit more, having a 1 cost. It also opens up shapeshifters early game a little bit, because you can have the Nidalee and the Elise a lot more commonly, at least. Obviously, it reduces her chance of appearing on the first carousel, but really you're not focusing on champions in the first carousel, so that's perfectly fine. Spiderlings now benefit from the demon origin effect. Okay, this actually might make Elise pretty broken, especially with the health of the spiderlings recently being increased. amongst other like at least changes. This should just make it very nice. Admittedly, mana cost is going up to 100, so that will definitely slow down a little bit. Number of spiderlings being reduced as well at early levels, but still being that 4 on in that tier 3. At least her health is going down, her armor is going down. Okay, so with the other changes, she might not be particularly as broken as I was initially thinking after benefiting now from the origin effect. At least her spiderlings benefiting from the origin effect. So yeah, I don't think this. I think this she'll still be pretty good now. Definitely not as broken as I thought after first reading that, but still pretty good compared to the patch before. So yeah, definitely a good pick to pick up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more demons. For your attack speed increase from 0.7 to 1.0. That is very nice. She definitely needed a big old change. Considering the highest base attack speed in the game is Kale with 1.1, this is a very big increase in attack speed. So definitely like giving her some kind of potency, considering she's considered like one of the weakest, if not the weakest champion in the game. I would say it's like probably Lissandra, but you know, Fiora is definitely down there with her. Damage has also been increased at higher levels, 250 to 400 at the third tier. I don't know what the middle one is. It would have been nice for us to know that, but apparently not, but that's alright. Graves' health has gone down. Okay, like the problem is that he's just incredibly good with red buffed and disarm, so like this isn't really a worthwhile change. Yeah, it's just a placebo nerf, so you know it's not going to change much. Vayne attack speed has gone up by 0.5 to 0.65. Did this recently change, or I might be forgetting? It's been a while since I looked at the last patch notes, so I can't remember if Vayne's attack speed was like decreased and they're re-increasing it, or whether it's just being increased flat for the first time. I don't know. By the way, it'll make a little bit of difference, but not a ton. She's reasonably good, but she just I think it's a mixture of her survivability. She just doesn't have that much. Like she isn't that impactful compared to some of the other like rangers or gunslingers that have either a bit more of an impact in potency or just survivability. So yeah, I don't think this change is really going to affect her much. Warwick ability now applies on hit effects. That'll be interesting. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, but we'll find out. That'll definitely be something to look on. I'm not quite sure what that's going to do, but it'll be very interesting to look at least. Tier 2 champions, Ari. Fixed a bug where Ari's ability wouldn't deal damage when she was dead. Good. I didn't really realize that was a bug. I thought that was an intended thing. I'm very glad that it's not an intended thing. They bug fixed it, so that's very good. Now retargets her ability if the target dies during the cast time. Good. Very nice. It was horrible when she just queued randomly. And now instead of a random enemy, it now targets the current attack target. So that's very nice. Blitzcrank fixed a bug where Blitz could hook a unit off the board if he died while casting, and nearby allies are now more likely to target the target that Blitzcrank pulls. That's all fantastic. Very little changes, but overall, though, good changes for Blitzcrank. Yeah, he'll just become slightly better, but again, he's not going to become anything OP or anything. He's just going to stay probably in the weird spot that he still is at the moment. Braum fixed Braum's tooltip to properly reflect that his shield reduces a percentage of all incoming damage. The damage reduction now going from 60 to 90 scaling to 70 to 90 scaling. His mana cost is also being reduced, and instead of targeting the nearest enemy, now targets the furthest enemy. This is interesting. These are all kind of useless though. It doesn't really change like Braum's sort of priority or potency in the current meta. Like really, it's nothing really about his ability. It's mainly his base stats that you got to change to actually make him vaguely potent. I mean, the mana cost obviously is a base stat, but it's massively linked to his ability, obviously. So yeah, it's stuff like health, attack speed, damage. Like none of this is really gonna change him too much in the meta or his priority and pick. So there's kind of no point in that. Lucian Relentless Pursuit second shot damage. It used to be 65 to 235 scaling. Now it's 150 to 350 scaling. That is very nice. Obviously, the second shot is the one that scales off spell damage, where the first one is obviously a regular attack damage. So because of this increase, maybe we get a lot more death caps being the last item on Lucian if you're stacking him, or maybe Eludens. Like I'd definitely be interested to try that out, like a Rage Blades rapid fire, Eludens Rage Blade rapid fire, death cap, something like that. That would definitely be very interesting to check out. Very nice change. I do love Lucian. I think he's one of the best carry sort of traditional ADCs outside of Draven. Definitely the best gunslinger. Yeah, fantastic. Very much like that. Pike mana cost increased from 100 to 125, and starting man, but the starting mana is also increased by 25 from 50 to 75. The mana cost increase is fantastic. The starting, I guess what this does just means getting his first stun off is gonna like be exactly the same amount of time. It's just the recharge of it, which makes sense considering the main strategy with Pike was just to get a couple of Spirit Shojins, and then he'll just be constantly using his ability. So hopefully this reduces the potency of that and just kind of gets him into a more sort of regular state. Though he's still pretty powerful pick to choose in your game. Rek'Sai borrowing duration was 1.5, now it's 1. Knockup duration was 1.25, now it's 1.75. And the damage has increased from 150 to 250 scaling to 150 to 300 scaling. Very nice. Or I say very nice. It's nice. It's a good start, but really Rek'Sai needs a lot more. It's become a much better champion. Yeah, we're just gonna need to see a lot more changes, but at least it's a good start in the right direction, and hopefully they'll keep on slowly buffing her and getting there. Shen's starting mana used to be 50, now it's 100. Okay, that's interesting. I can't remember what his actual mana cost is, if it's 125 or 150. I can't remember, but either way, yeah, quite a nice change. You know, he's reasonably potent, so we'll see if this kind of makes him mopey or broken. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll find out. Tier 3 champions, Aatrox mana cost was 100, now it's down to 75. Damage was 350 to 850 scaling, that's 400 to 1000 scaling. It's quite nice changes. The only thing, I guess, is that... actually, no, it's all pretty good changes. Like, Aatrox is still in a reasonably semi-bad state, but this might actually take him to a pretty reasonable state. Like, he is being picked a lot more due to demons being a lot more viable, and also Blade Masters being kind of popular at the moment. Though, I think it will make him a reasonable champion. I don't think it will take him too far over like kind of the mediocre or reasonableness that he'll get to, but he's definitely going to be pulled out of that pretty dire state that he was in. Evelyn, health was increased from 550 to 600. Her execute threshold was 50% HP, now it's 65% HP. Execute damage multiplier used to be 3, 4, 500%, now it's 3, 5, 700%. And Eve's ability now roots targets during the cast time of 0.35 seconds to prevent them from moving out of the area of effect. These are all very nice changes. Evelyn was pretty dire assassin. Like, she was easily the one that you like just didn't include unless you really had to. Maybe this makes her a lot more viable, especially with the fact that she is a demon, and now that demons are getting very powerful indeed. Like, this might actually make her a pretty viable pick, but I don't think it's going to take it to that kind of AES tier. She's going to stick around in the B tier, maybe even a high B, but she's not really become anything too insane. Gangplank, ability now applies on hit effects. Yeah, this along with the previous change, who was it? Was it Warwick? Yeah, Warwick. This could be interesting. Yeah, it's just going to be interesting. I think we'll have to kind of see all the interactions. With changes like this, we'll have to see all the interactions and with all the different abilities, and just see what happens after a few games of them, really, to actually see what effect it has on the meta. Fixed number of bugs with animations and barrel chains, good. Attack speed is increased from 0.6 to 0.65. It's very nice, and also health increase from 650 to 700. He was getting played a bit more, which is quite nice, just due to mixture of gunslingers and blade masters being played a lot more. Along with the introduction of TF, hopefully now that like he'll probably be picked quite a bit more because he's a pirate, and yeah, he'll probably be a bit better. It was in pretty good state, so I'm not sure why the buff really came in. I don't think it was amazingly necessary. I think that the health was definitely needed, I think, actually, but the rest of it wasn't really necessary, so it'll just be interesting to see if he takes over any kind of games, or whether he's just going to stay in sort of same state that he was, which I suspect he'll just survive a little bit more, and that'll be nice to get off Soul a bit longer, a bit quicker, rather. Katarina fixed a bug where her ability wasn't properly preventing enemy healing. Good, I guess. Yeah, that should have been a thing. Oh, well, it's a bug fix, so yeah, we always like bug fixes. Cannon damage 3 to 660 scaling is now 4 to 900 scaling. That's very nice, and its attack damage is up. That's very nice. This kind of opens up Cannon a bit more. You could, like, for stacking purposes, like before you really didn't want to stack on him, you'd only like maybe use something, maybe one attack speed item just for him to get his ult off, or one mana item to get his ult off quicker. Or like just abusing the champion just to get another synergy up with a spatula item, but like this actually opens it up to potentially like actually stacking on him and making stacking him actually viable within the game. So yeah, it's definitely a very interesting, very nice changes, especially because his ult is just incredible and like one of the best ults in the game. But yeah, we'll see about that. Morgana no longer casts her ability at times when no enemies would be in range at the start of a cast. Okay, that's pretty nice. Again, probably should have been in from the start, and the damage is increased from 250 to 450 scaling to 300 to 450 scaling, so just a little bit early game. That's quite nice. Again, she'll probably be rising a bit just because she is a demon. Also, sorcerer comps will probably still stay pretty high, if not a little bit higher, due to like Twisted Fate killing him. So yeah, some interesting buffs. Probably be a bit more of a prominent pick in sorcerer and demon comps, but again, she's not going to be insane. She's not going to be A tier. She's not going to be S tier. She's going to be that kind of high to mid B tier. Poppy armor 30 to 40, sun duration from 1.5 to 4 scaling to 2 to 4 scaling. Number of targets hit used to be 1, now it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is a lot more interesting. These two are nice, but not really going to like drag her out the depths that she's found herself in. But the actual number of targets being hit is actually a lot better. I wouldn't be surprised to even maybe see this get changed to 2, 3, 4, or like 1, 3, 5 or something like that. Because like I don't know, this kind of change is really what's gonna drag her out of the depths and like kind of put her into that potentially even a B tier kind of champion. This might actually drag her into like kind of high C tier, low B, but like yeah, really gonna probably need to see a few more increases in this for her to actually become a pretty good champion. Rengar, average attack speed buff is now multiplicative. If I can say that correctly, increases Rengar's attack speed ratio. Okay, that's fair enough. Rengar again, like although I think Rengar was pretty underrated, he was kind of the second least picked assassin after Evelyn, so it's quite nice. Also with the wild being buffed again, like hopefully he'll be increased a little bit. He'll be picked a lot more often, hopefully. Yeah, I just think he's an underrated champion that doesn't get picked that much, but hopefully his popularity will increase a little bit after this, especially with the wild buff. Shyvana attack speed from 0.65 to 0.7, attack from 550 to 650, and bonus attack damage while dragon 60 to 160 scaling used to be, now it's 100 to 200 scaling. Unnecessary. I don't think this is necessary at all. Shyvana is a very good champion at the moment. She has great synergies, being like both a dragon and a shapeshifter. Like maybe with the shapeshifters, wait, were they nerfed or I can't even remember now. Were they nerfed or buffed? Yeah, they were nerfed. So maybe with the nerfs to shapeshifters that this kind of needed for Shyvana, maybe, and that's why these changes have come in. But like I really don't think these are necessary. This is kind of a bit overkill. Like I wouldn't be surprised to see her like rise to a pretty high A tier, if not maybe even like a kind of S- kind of tier. Like yeah, she's just a very good champion at the moment. This is completely not necessary at all, but whatever. Okay, let's just move on. Veigar damage to lower star champions used to be 9999, now it's going to be 19999. okay. I don't think there was ever really a instance where like the 9999 wasn't gonna kill them. I don't think. Maybe there was. I can't really think of a champion that would survive that. But I know maybe there's some weird thing where people put 3 Warmogs on and it would do something. I'm not sure, but whatever. Mana Cross has been decreased. Okay, cool. That's not really. They're okay changes. It's not really like interesting. Volibear health 650 to 700, attack speed 0.55 to 0.65, mana cost reduced from 100 to 75, and lightning attack damage ratio from 60 to 100% to 80 to 100%. These are very nice. Just yeah, bring back up to maybe like a mid A tier, high A tier. Yeah, I don't think it will make him OP again, even though he wasn't really OP back when he was considered OP. But whatever, these are very nice changes. It's always nice to see him high up. The only thing that is kind of annoying about it is because he is glacial. It's probably gonna make glacial comps a little bit more annoying. But oh well, it'll be nice to see him. I'd like to start playing him maybe in a few more brawler comps and actually might actually be a bit more potent. So that'll be kind of nice. Tier 4 champions. Carly fixed a number of bugs that would sometimes cause her ability to not deal damage. That's yep. I did notice that a couple of times. Very nice that bug is fixed. No longer cast her ability at times when no lands would be range to start cast. Again, that should have been something that was in the game to begin with. Brand's mana cost gone from 100 to 125. That is nice, but really that should have been probably need a lot more than just the mana cost increase. Probably need a bit of a damage reduction as well. He's still incredibly potent champion and one of the best in the game at the moment, but whatever. Cho'Gath health reduced from 1,100 to 1,000, and knockup duration used to be 2 to 2.5 scaling. Now it's 1.5 to 2.5 scaling. The health isn't really, he's not really going to notice that at all. The knockup duration is a very interesting change. I actually kind of like it. It's like Cho'Gath was very, very good. But now, like, with this a little bit of change, it just reduces his potency a little bit early mid-game. But late game, he's still going to be a good old big boy. So hopefully, yeah, this is a pretty reasonable change. He shouldn't really change too much in your priority when you want to pick him. But it's just going to reduce his potency just a little bit so that maybe other comps with that Cho'Gath can, like, catch up a little bit. Draven attack speed from 0.85 to 0.75, good. Again, like, he's an incredible champion. I don't know why they keep not nerfing him even more. But there we go. He's just, yeah, he's still very good. Don't believe the lies when people tell you that he's, like, worthless. Like, just picking up a Draven, like, late game is still incredibly good. This definitely does help reduce his potency a bit. Garen health from 850 to 750 and his armor from 35 to 30. These are very nice changes. This is more what was needed. Oh, sorry, it's Gnar. Sorry, I completely misread that as Garen. Why would Garen be in tier 4? I'm not quite sure. And Gnar from 850 to 750 and his armor from 35 to 30. No, this is very different. But still, no, it's still good changes. Gnar again was like just a fantastic pick in the meta at the moment. Like just easily like wrecking people as soon as he altered as well. Really, I'd like to see his mana cost increased maybe a little bit, or maybe his health reduced even more. This will definitely take him down a few notches, maybe even to kind of mid A tier, but like really he needs a few more changes if you want to stop him being like an easy pick. Because Nara's like, along with Cho'Gath, Nara is just one of those people that, and Draven as well, and Brand, just a lot of forecasts that it's fine to pick them up and shove them in a comp even if they don't have any synergies. They're just such good picks, and their ults or their damage is just incredible. Like during any part of the game. So like, yeah, he just needs a few more changes really. Leona mana cost from 150 to 100. Very nice. Yeah, she's definitely potent, but she just needs that little bit of extra help getting multiple ults off, or getting at least the first ult off a lot quicker before she dies. This is very nice. We'll just, yeah, it's just nice. We'll move on from that. Sejuani's stun duration was 3 to 5 scaling. Now it's 2 to 5 scaling. Yeah, not surprised by this at all. Sejuani was an incredible pick in the game. It again falls into one of these forecasts that you can just kind of shove in any comp, and it works really nicely. Hopefully the stun duration will it weakens her a little bit on the first couple of tiers, but if you manage to get that tier 3, like you're just gonna be unstoppable. So I don't know, maybe it needs to change for the tier 3 as well, but apart from that, no, the first two changes, the tiers, it's very nice, very nice indeed. Tier 5 champions, Anivia, ability no longer cancels when Anivia dies. I guess that's good. I don't know if it has like an actual cutoff, if it lasts a certain amount of time, I don't know. If it just goes on for the rest of the fight, it might be a bit too much. Maybe they need to actually just put a set time on it so that, yeah, it's not going to disappear when she dies, but it's still going to disappear after a few seconds, depending on how long they want to have the ability up. Or at least maybe even, I don't know. No, this one's gonna. I'm just gonna have to have a look, see what how it's actually affected, because it might just make elementalists or glacials even that little bit extra stronger that they don't really need. So we'll see what happens with that. Misfortune, a bit of targeting used to be around an enemy, now it's a current attack target. Again, very nice change. All these changes really are very nice when it changing from a random enemy to a current attack target. Now retargets her ability if the target dies during wind up. Again, one of these things that should have been at the beginning of the game. Fixed a bug where Misfortune would sometimes move and change her ult's trajectory while channeling. That's kind of interesting. At least the bug is fixed again. But the mana cost is increased. Which is a bit bizarre because she's definitely like an underpicked champion. I mean, I know she's a 5 cost, so it's not really like you're gonna see a ton anyway. But I know other 5 costs are generally like a lot better. She also just doesn't really like. She's a gunslinger, but half the time, like I kind of prefer having the Lucian or the Gangplank in, or the Graves in, like or the Tristana, like. Yeah, occasionally I might want to replace one of them, but really I'd rather just have like the level 2 or 3 of the other rather than a level tier 1. Like if you can get a 3 of them and get a tier 2 Misfortune, then fair enough, but like majority of the time you're not really getting that unless you're getting to like really late stages of the game, like past like stage 7 or something. Or unless your economy is really good, but yeah, either way, I'm not a huge fan of the mana cost increase. Yasuo ability now applies on hit effects again with the other two. We'll just have to see how this affects the overall game. Though I have a feeling that's probably unnecessary on Yasuo, but we'll see. Knockup duration is increased, and the damage used to be 150 350 scaling. Now it's 150 550 scaling. I mean, Yasuo was vaguely okay, but like he definitely needs some buffs. But I don't know if this is really gonna help it, like keep him reasonable. This might actually make him pretty disgusting. I have to see a bit more because again, with other 5 costs, you don't really see them a ton. Like you see the odd couple, and you see them like sometimes get to level 2, but really do not see them get to that level 3 stage. So we'll just have to see like whether the new level 2 is too much and needs to be put back to level 3 or whatever. But I have a feeling these changes are a little bit too overbuffing. But then there we go. I'd rather overbuff than overnerf. That's always it's always the message I want to send. But yeah, items. General items no longer benefit from ability power. Good. Yeah, that's probably a good change. Probably should have been stop the Sorcerer Locket stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing really much else to say about that. Spatula now doubles the stat power of its sister component. Okay, that's fair enough. So yeah, you just get as if you had 2 of the other component rather than just the one. That's very nice because yeah, the benefit of getting the extra synergy obviously is very nice, but it really did feel like you were kind of missing out on some good stats. So hopefully this will make up for it. Curse Blade can now reduce targets to 0 stars. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Fixed the bug where Curse Blade would reset an enemy's champion level if it triggered a second time. Yeah, that's good that bug fix is gone. That bug is gone rather. Frozen Heart effects now apply more consistently to any unit near the wearer. Good. GA's revive delay used to be 4 seconds, now it's 2 seconds. Health restore used to be 500, now it's 1,000. And GA's now properly clears grievous wounds, which is always very nice. There were some really weird changes I saw on the PvE to do with Guardian Angel. I'm kind of very glad that they didn't find their way into the live patch. So probably not best not just to mention it anymore and kind of move on. And hopefully they'll never do anything like that again. But we'll see. Gwynsu's Rage attack speed per stack has gone back up from 3% to 4%. Again, same with the wild revert change. I'm not sure why this is implemented. Maybe because of the attack. What was it? The attack speed changes up here. So, you know, maybe that's why they've decided to do that, but I think it's a bit unnecessary, but we'll see what happens. X-Deck Gunblade fixed a bug where Spellbound was sometimes not properly granted. Good. No longer benefits from item effects. Looking at you, Shyvana, with Thornmail. Okay, so I didn't realise that was actually a thing, but okay, that makes sense. It's good that changes in. Probably, again, another one that probably should have been in from the beginning, but there we go. Now deals Ionic Spark now deals true damage instead of magic damage. It's very nice. Fixed bug where Ionic Spark was applying 75 damage instead of 200. That is very nice. I did see that a few times. Hopefully this will actually make the item reasonably okay to now to pick, because this was happening a lot more often than it should have done, really. Lock up the Iron Ally now shields the wearer and champions 2 spaces to the left and right of the wearer at the start of the round, and the shield value has gone up. This is nice because it rewards good positioning, rather than just having it on a random champion and it just like, you know, just happening to give everyone a shield. It makes you focus on the positioning in the game a bit more, so, you know, that's always very nice. Luden's Echo fixed a bug where targets weren't taking the correct amount of damage, and fixed a bug where Luden's proc would on basic attack hits but not on ability hits. Primary target damage has gone up from 100 to 200, and AoE damage used to be 0 plus 1 of your AP, but now it's just 200. This is very nice. Yeah, it just kind of levels out the item, makes it reasonable. Like, it was kind of in a weird state where it was both very good, yet also not doing as much damage as it was intended. So yeah, it's just a very nice change. Morellonomicon, max HP damage per second increased from 2.5 to 3%. I'm pretty sure this is a revert of the previous nerf. Cool, I guess. I mean, I don't think it really affects that much. We'll see if Garen still goes back to like wrecking with it. I don't know, probably not though. Rapid Fire Cannon now updates in response to the range changes. RIP RFC Italy. Okay, very good. Yeah, Rapid Fire Cannon Italy was kind of insane, and like, I can't remember what the actual range was, but it was, yeah, she was getting off a lot more range than she should have done. So yeah, always very nice. Recurve bow attack speed being reverted. They're reversing a lot of changes, which is kind of interesting. It probably just means that the attack speed's going to become even more potent and back to its original potency again. But then with the attack speed changes, maybe it doesn't. I just think it's like reversing them is just a bit too much of an like revert back to the kind of OP attack speed stuff. So I don't know. I think attack speed's just gone up in priority again, even though it was still pretty high in priority. But now I think it's just gone back up again. Redemption now triggers at 25% health. Yeah, this is kind of nice because otherwise you were just generally shoving redemptions on people that you didn't mind dying at the beginning of the fight, which was kind of weird because sometimes like positioning would also mean that it didn't actually cover that many people. Whereas now, like, this will just make it so that you can prioritize it on champions that you kind of do want healed, you want to stay alive, and it no longer damages enemies. I kind of think it still should, but whatever. Runan's Hurricane bolts down from 2 to 1. I don't really see the there's no. It's a bizarre change. Like, there's no point having the fucking item in the game if you're going to reduce the bolts down to 1, and the bolt damage reduced from 50 to 25%. Again, like, you're shoving the bolt damage, like, you're halving the bolt damage. So, like, why are you also halving the amount of bolts? Like, that just doesn't make sense. They really need to revert this back to 2. I just think this is way overkill, and it just makes the item a bit dead, even if it does apply on hit effects. Seraph's Embrace, fixed bug where Seraph's Embrace wouldn't stack. That's very nice. So hopefully now that'll be fine. Static Shiv now always hits 3 additional targets rather than all champions in a frontal cone. Now it only activates maximum of 1 time per launch attack. Yes, there was a load of stuff to do with gunslingers and it applying like a bunch of times because of how gunslingers work. So yeah, it's just very nice changes. Makes it a reasonable item instead of the OP item it would have been. So yeah, fantastic. Thornmail reflect damage, 35% of physical damage taken. Now it's 100% of physical damage mitigated. It used to be magic damage, and now it's true damage. Okay, this is a very interesting change. I think I'd have to play around with it a bit more to really take in like the actual changes. But on the surface, it's probably gonna end up doing about the same, maybe slightly more. But I don't know. I don't think it's really going to affect it that much. Mainly just resistance type. So like obviously it's going to affect people with the Dragon's Claw a lot more than it would have done, so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't think it's really going to affect too much apart from just what kind of resistances you're taking against it. Even though like Thornmail wasn't really a priority of what resistances you were taking on your units against it, but whatever. Like I don't think it will change too much. Maybe people will start taking more damage from the reflect damage. I don't know, maybe not. Warmogs used to be regen 3% of max HP, now it's 6% missing HP. Okay, this is interesting. I actually hate this change. Like it doesn't really capture the like wonderful essence of Warmogs on League of Legends, so that's kind of a shame. But also, it's just gonna be like, I don't know, it just makes this item a lot worse. I would much rather they revert back to the max HP change, but yeah, that's just a real shame. It's just gonna slow right down. As soon as you start gaining health, it's gonna just keep on slowing down. It's gonna be not very nice. Yeah, I really hate this change. It's probably the worst change in the patch. Zeke's Herald now only grants attack speed to champions 2 spaces to the left and right of the wearer, and the attack speed aura was 10%, now it's 50%. So very similar changes to the the Locket of the Iron Solari. So yeah, very nice. Quite like that. Maybe the attack speed aura might need to be increased a little bit if it's going to be only 2 spaces. Oh no, there's 2 spaces to right and left and right. So maybe it's yeah, I doubt they can increase it that much. Otherwise, it might make some like certain sort of like assassin comps might be a bit kind of done with it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. I quite like it. Maybe they need to increase the attack speed, or maybe not. We'll see. And then finally, updated missile VFX on Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Enchanted Crystal Arrow now plays Sounds Good. Fixed bug where champions leveling up upon combining from a shared draft selection sometimes duplicated the champion. Yeah, that's good bug fix. Reconnecting to a tier team will no longer prevent end of game stats from being displayed. Good. Fix a number of bugs that would cause melee champions to AFK and stop moving. Fantastic. This is probably one of the best bug fixes in this patch. And a billion other bug fixes listed in the sections above. So yeah, overall, very beefy patch, very nice patch. Yeah, very excited to start playing this tomorrow. Definitely gonna love to see how Twisted Fate's gonna be involved in the patch quite a bit. Nothing really huge coming out though. Most of it is just a lot of nice changes, or some changes are very much unnecessary and I don't like, but nothing really stands out as a big prominent change. Probably the Elise or the fact that TF's being added, but I suspect TF is probably going to get some change around at some point with like numbers after we see like how good he is. But yeah, probably Elise probably the biggest change. But apart from that, like just some really nice changes, some not so nice changes, but overall just a pretty reasonable patch. So yeah, thanks for watching.